cutting-edge cultural program that the Embassy of Mexico and its Cultural Institute, in partnership with numerous institutions, have put together to highlight the richness and diversity of Mexican culture. To celebrate these twin anniversaries, the Embassy has formed a Bicentennial committee comprised of prominent members of the artistic, business, and political communities of the United States who are friends of Mexico to highlight the richness of our bilateral relationship. We are honored to have such distinguished individuals be part of this effort, and I want to acknowledge their generous support to what I am sure will be a year full of successful events and unparalleled cultural presence of Mexico in the US. We are also joined tonight by many other friends in Washington, as well as representatives of some of our partner institutions. Thank you all for coming here tonight. It is unsurprising that much of the Bicentennial program will focus on the arts and other cultural expressions. Much of Mexico's international prestige and reputation has been built primarily on the unique strength that is its cultural and artistic legacy lends to our nation. At the same time, Mexican culture has not thrived in isolation. In the early 1930s, Mexican writer Alfonso Reyes avoided taking sides in the literary debates between nationalists and cosmopolitans in the quest to define what the authentic Mexican cultural expression was. He defended the possibility of Mexican culture and artistic production to be both. And I think he did it for good reason. Mexican culture has been deeply shaped not only by its history, but also by its exchange with and exposure and openness to the world. While Reyes observed this back in the 1930s, this is perhaps truer today than ever, with a true trans-border, transnational community living on both sides of the Rio Grande. Indeed, the binational cultural exchanges that have taken place over the years with the United States evidence the power of culture to encourage deeper mutual understanding, as well as the power to increase awareness to the extent of which our societies have become intertwined. Let me start by sharing with you some of the events that we will be hosting here in DC. One of the most important events, because I think it will highlight aspects of Mexico which those who go to Cancun or Tijuana or Los Cabos rarely get to see, is that we have partnered with the Smithsonian Institution, and the Folklife Festival on the National Mall will dedicate this year to Mexico, celebrating the popular and cultural traditions of communities in today's Mexico from June the 24th to July the 25th on the National Mall. But moreover, as this city and individuals and philanthropists from all around America come together to rescue the National Mall by injecting money, by ensuring that the parks, that the monuments are up to standard, we are also partnering this year with the Trust for the National Mall, and we will together celebrate Mexico's Bicentennial by celebrating the luncheon and the ball on the mall dedicated to Mexico's Bicentennial, and at the same time creating awareness in America over the need of rescuing this treasure for America and American society and American history, which is the National Mall.
Gracias.
Contemporary Mexican design will also take center stage with the exhibition Rethinking Tradition, Survey on Contemporary Design in Mexico, that will run from June to October in this building. The African presence in Mexico continues its extremely successful run at the Smithsonian Anacostia Community Museum all the way to July the 4th. Vibrant Mexican film will be highlighted during the Hola Mexico Film Festival that will come to the US this spring and will make a debut in Washington, D.C. in late May. This festival will also tour in several more cities around the nation. The best of Mexican music and art will be on display during this year's installment of the Prelude Festival at one of the most important and prestigious stages in the United States, the Kennedy Center, from September through October. The National Museum of American History, the Library of Congress, and Georgetown University will be organizing seminars on the Mexican independence and the revolution. Beginning in the fall of 2010, and this is something that we are extremely proud of in the Embassy and the Cultural Institute, Mexican artists and curators will be invited to stay in the newly renovated carriage house in the rear of this 100-year-old historic mansion through an artist in resident program that the Mexican Embassy is about to launch. This program will enable artistic interaction between guest artists and the Washingtonian community for an extended period of up to 4 months, and will be the cornerstone of our efforts to foster greater creative exchange between Washington and Mexico. We at the Embassy are thrilled and very proud of this program that I am certain will boost the dynamic artistic exchange between Mexico and the United States. But this isn't the only thing that's going to take place. The Bicentennial program includes top-of-the-line art shows and activities in landmark museums, galleries, and other venues in cities throughout the United States. We officially kicked this off at the end of December. We sort of try to trick the calendar by a couple of weeks. By kicking off the celebrations with a retrospective of Gabriel Orozco at MoMA. Gabriel Orozco, one of our most influential, cutting-edge contemporary installation artists. And the exhibit, I think, was ended about a week ago, but it was a fantastic show. The exhibition, The Aztec Pantheon and the Art of Empire at the Getty Villa Museum in LA this spring, and an unparalleled display of the Olmecs will also help inaugurate the new Renzo Piano wing of LACMA, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, in the fall. Additionally, an itinerant exhibition entitled Fiery Pool, the Maya and the Mythic Sea will be presented at the Peabody Essex Museum in Salem, Massachusetts this March, and at Dallas's Kimball Art Museum in the fall. Beginning in September, the Art Institute of Chicago will present a comprehensive exhibition on ancient Mexican masterpieces. A concert series performed by the Chicago Symphony Orchestra that highlights the rich musical tradition of Mexico and features various Mexican conductors and composers, musicians, and theme scores in March, May, and September. The presentation of the opera Il Postino by the distinguished Mexican composer Daniel Catan at the Disney Hall in LA. Mexican film and literature will also be the focus of a conference at Rice University and the Museum of Fine Arts in Houston this spring. Between March and October, Rice University will also host various lectures that reflect on Mexico 100 years after the Revolution and 200 years after independence. Meanwhile, this summer, the Biennial of the Americas, in partnership with Mayor John Hickenlooper in Denver, will feature Mexico and its role in the hemispheric challenges of today. Whew, that was long. This is just a sneak preview of all the events that we will be hosting in DC and throughout the United States throughout the year. It is our hope that through this program, we will share Mexico's heritage and culture in many unique and exciting ways, and ensure that our two societies remain co-stakeholders to one another in this critically important dialogue between societies, between cultures, between traditions on both sides of our common border. Thank you for joining us today.